what is the difference between a warm-up set and a working set, and how does a working set look like when you take things to failure? So I'm going to demonstrate this for you today by doing the dumbbell shoulder press, and I'm going to run you through exactly what I do whenever I'm building up to my first working sets. So usually when I come into an exercise, especially an exercise like this where you can push pretty heavy, I have an idea of the rep range that I want to hit in my working sets. So today, for the sake of this video, I'm going to be doing 2 working sets. In the first working set, I'm going to aim for 6 to 8 reps because I want to treat that set as my strength set. I want to see how much I can lift for 6 to 8 reps. And if I surpass the 8 reps, then great, even better. But I want to really try and test myself with strength and with how much I can lift. And so because of that, I want to make sure that I'm well warmed up before lifting my heaviest weight, right? So I'm probably going to build up over the course of 2 to 3 warm-up sets. And I reckon I can go for at least 30, maybe 35 kilos today on my first working set. I'm going to see how I feel, but this is how I'm going to run it, okay? So my first warm-up set, I've got 17.5 kilo dumbbells, all right? And how I'm going to run this is I'm going to just keep the reps low. I'm going to just do like 6 to 8 warm-ups, 6 to 8 reps. And I'm not pushing anymore. I mean, I'm just warming up the muscles. I'm warming up the joints. I'm kind of waking my body up, preparing it like, right guys, this is what we're doing today. Sorry if you can hear a lot of noise. They're doing construction in this gym and it's not exactly ideal for recording. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Cool. Right, that's that one done. So now I've got the 25 kilos, I've moved up in weight, and I'm now going to hit a few less reps. So instead of hitting 7 reps, I'm probably just going to go for 4 or 5, right? The idea here is, again, just to warm up the muscles, warm up the joints, ready for that big lift, the one that you're going to give it absolutely everything. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. That's more than enough on this one. Oh. Okay, so I'm feeling strong today, and I'm going to go for the 35 kilos. That's strong for me. I used to lift more than this, but that was back when I was all juiced up. But anyway, I'm still happy with that. As long as it's working me hard, as long as I'm getting a good sweat on and I'm progressing, that's all that matters. Keep the ego at home, right? So I've done a couple warm-up sets now. I've done 17.5 kilos for 7 reps. I've done the 25 kilos for 4 reps. And this one, it's going to be a warm-up set, albeit that it might end up being my first working set weight. What this set's going to be is really just a feeler set, because I don't want to use all my energy trying to push a weight that I'm actually not going to hit the desired minimum amount of reps. Minimum for me in this one being 6 reps. I don't want to get any less than 6 reps. So I'm going to do a feeler set, which simply means like I'm going to get a feel to see if I've got 6 reps in there. You usually know by 1 or 2 reps. So I'm going to lift this. I'm going to do a 1 or 2 reps, and from that I'll be able to tell you if this is going to be my first working set weight. I want to be dead sure that if I'm going to give my energy to this first working set for 6 to 8 reps, I want to make sure that I've gauged the right weight here. Alright, it's either going to be spot on, or it's going to be too heavy, or it's going to be too light, and I might need to pick a different weight. So let's do this feeler set. 1, 2 reps max. I definitely think I've got 6 in there. So I'm going to give myself a nice little rest, because I want to make sure that I'm giving it everything, right? I don't want to just rush straight into the set. So I'm going to take as much rest as I want here, just to make sure that, right, I'm definitely ready to give this everything. And here's the thing with the working set, right? We've now built up the sets to doing this first working set, okay? And by the way, I do the same for all my exercises when it comes to like bench presses, squats, deadlifts, etc. I'm doing exactly the same thing, alright? It's no different just because I'm doing dumbbell shoulder press. This is the exact same strategy that I use on everything else, especially big lifts. So the thing with this working set, and I want to highlight this because I know many of you get very fixated on reps. So I'm coming into this set with an idea that I want to do 6 to 8 reps, okay? And the thing is, I might not get the 6, which is fine, as long as I gave it my best shot, right? But I might also surpass the 8 reps. Now, what I see many people doing when they come into a set is they get so fixated on the range where, for example, my rep range is 6 to 8 reps. So people, when they hit the 8 reps, they stop, even though they've got more reps in there. What I want to point out, folks, is if you're trying to drive strength and you're trying to build muscle and you're doing working sets but you're playing short, you're stopping short, I want you to kind of stop fixating on the reps. If you get to the top end of your rep range, so in this case for me is 8 reps, if I hit 8 reps and I'm like, you know what, I've still got, I reckon, 2 more reps in there, I'm going to go for it. Just because my rep range says 6 to 8 reps doesn't mean then the 8 is the definitive point where I need to stop. No, it's a working set and I'm working myself to muscle failure. So I want to take myself to the point where I can't fucking push any more reps, alright? So all that will tell me is if I pass the 8 reps, this is just going to tell me I'm stronger than I think I am. So next time I do this workout and I'm coming onto this exercise, I don't go for the 35 kilos for my first working set. Maybe I go for 37 and a halves or 40s, and I try and keep it within the 6 to 8 rep range, right? So let's see how I get on. Maybe I'll get 6, maybe I'll get 8, maybe I'll get more than 8, but I'm going to work myself to the point when I can't do any more. And I've not got a spot with me today, so I'm just going to go as far as I possibly can safely without a spotter. With a spotter, you'd probably be able to get another 1 to 2 assisted reps, but because I don't, I'm just going to go to what my body allows me. So here we go. Right, here we go. I've got one more. Jesus. I almost thought I wasn't getting that last rep. That lasted forever. But I got it. So I got, what was that, 7 reps? There we go. So I know, moving forward, that my 6 to 8 rep range working weight is 35 kilos. So next time I come into the gym and I'm going to do the same, I'm going to pick up the 35 kilos and I'm going to keep working with this until I can consistently get it past 8 reps, which is the top end of my rep range. You know, after a few weeks, I expect I'll be able to lift, you know, beyond 8 reps. And when I can consistently do that 2 to 3 consecutive weeks, I'm going to move this up to say 37 and a halves or 40s. So yeah, that is what a working set to failure should look like. Don't play it short. if you do hit the top end of your rep range, don't just stop. It's a working set to work you to muscle fatigue, so work that muscle. Okay, so now I have dropped the weight a little bit, because as you go through your working sets, naturally fatigue is going to kick in. So if I was to try the 35s again, I might only get 5 reps, maybe even only 4 reps, because the fatigue is well and truly kicking in, right? My front delts are getting absolutely hammered now. So to accommodate the lesser strength, I'm gonna, well, I've reduced the weight by 10 kilos, so I'm doing 25 kilos now. And I'm just going to try and hit hypertrophy reps. Hypertrophy is anywhere from, like, I believe 8 plus reps. I would probably say 10 plus reps. So I'm going to work with this weight, and I'm going to try and hit anywhere from 8 plus reps. To be honest, I'm not arsed about how many reps I do. I just want to hit higher reps with a lighter weight, take my muscle to failure. I'm not really chasing them. I'm not really chasing the burn. I'm just trying to make sure that every single rep that I do, I can really feel it. I mean, as much as I wanted to hit the 35s there for 8 reps, what's more important to me isn't necessarily just strength, but actually making sure that I'm getting the most out of every rep, making every rep count, because they do count. So how you lift it really does play a factor. Why just use the last 3 struggling reps to really feel it when you could use all of them, right? So that's why I like to kind of control my reps, slow it down a little bit, and really just feel it. I'm not too bothered about being super strong, lifting the heaviest weight. I'm not a weightlifter. I just want to have a body that I like. I want to feel good in my body, right? So I want to build muscle. So my focus in this is just to get the most out of every rep, as opposed to just, oh, I'm going to hit 8 reps and I'm going to lift the heaviest weight. Cool. If you're a weightlifter or a powerlifter, then that's great. Go for it. But not me. Okay, so this is the last working set, second working set. Let's see how many we get, and let's make every single rep count. Oh god. So I think I counted 12 there, but one thing I wanted to kind of make you aware of, something that I often do to take my muscle to failure, is if I can no longer do a full rep from bottom to top, if I can't do a full rep, I don't just stop. I do what's called partial reps. So instead of just relying on only getting a full rep range, let me put these down. Instead of relying on just being able to do a full rep range, and then I can't do a full rep anymore, so I stop. No, you still have strength in there. You can still push it a little bit more. So what you'll notice if you watch that back is, although I didn't get a full rep, I then just pushed to what my body would allow. So I think I got like halfway, and then I got about a quarter, and then I tried again and I just got a little nudge, and that was it. That's what you call partial reps. So whenever I'm counting my reps, I never really count the partial reps if I'm noting stuff down. I make a note of my full reps, but the partial reps are just like they're just an intensifier to take things a little bit further, especially if you're aiming to take your muscles to fatigue and just push it that little bit more. Partial reps are a great way to intensify a set. Just because you can't do a full rep doesn't mean that the half rep or the quarter rep doesn't count. The muscle is still being activated to push it, right? Just make sure you've got the good control, that you're feeling the muscle that's being targeted. I mean, even though I only got a half rep and then a quarter rep, my front delts were still screaming. So it's still working, and it just meant I could take this set to more failure, right? So that is the difference in warm-up sets to working sets, and that's how a working set looks. So if you're not training like that with your working sets, then I encourage you to train like that. Take your working sets to failure, you know, add in little partial reps. I mean, another good one that works really well with is lateral raises. You know, because the leverage is so far from the body, how often do you stop and you can't get a full rep and then you just put the weights down? Now, like, see how many partial reps you can do. So usually when I do lateral raises, I maybe don't get full weight, but then I get like 3/4, half, a quarter, another quarter, and then I am spent. That is a great way of taking that set to more failure and bringing more intensity into the set. So I want you to give this a try. Your warm-up sets really are only anywhere from 4 to 8 reps. It's not designed to take you to failure, and each warm-up set you do is designed to build you up into your first working set. And if, like me today, your first working set is going to be how much can I lift and how much can I lift for say 6 to 8 reps, then you want to make sure that you're doing the adequate warm-up sets, going up in weight, but not burning yourself out in those reps, right? In those sets. Just get a feel for the weight, warm up the muscle, warm up the joints, and then that's going to prepare you for that heavy working set. And if you want to do a feeler set, that I would also class as a warm-up set, where you do like 1 or 2 reps just to gauge, right, is this going to be the weight that I'm going to do for my heaviest set, my heaviest working set? If it's too light or if it's too heavy, then you'll know to change it, right? But that is how it looks. That is the difference between warm-up sets and working sets, and that is also how you take working sets to failure. So if you like this video and you want to see more of this, I would absolutely love it if you can hit subscribe, and yeah, any support you can give is absolutely fantastic.